If you've been following my channel up to now, then you know this channel is all about longevity. Everything that I preach in bodybuilding, powerlifting, health and fitness, everything, even finance. The key for me is longevity. Now, what does longevity actually mean? Yes, I understand on the surface is how long we can prolong our life. But it's not all about that. For me, the main thing is not only how long can you live. I'm not here trying to outlive somebody else or outlive, the general population or whatever the life expectancy is in a certain area. I'm trying to outbeat that. That isn't the key here. The key is to live as long as possible, but healthy. So everything that I preach, everything that I teach doesn't necessarily add years on your life or stop you shaving years off your life, even though there is a hell of a lot of content on here that I've given for free, that does at least not add, but certainly stop you shaving years of your life. Especially a lot of guys that I've talked out of heavy steroid cycles. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, my TRT longevity protocol link is in the description. Now we've got the adverts out of the way. The point of this video is here. Let's say there was nothing out there that was to kill you, no accidents or no outside forces and no, bad luck, like for example, cancer or some, genetic heart disease or some family hereditary issues or stuff like that. Or an accident. There could be many, many things that you could die early or a premature death. But the key is to live as long as possible, healthy. You're not depending on anybody for food, water, finance, shelter, anything. And you lay down one day, healthy as hell. You brush your teeth, you do your stretching, you lay down, you go to sleep, and you never wake up ever again. That is the best way to die. What I often see nowadays, this is happening in my family, I'm sure it's happened to many of you guys as well, or many people that you know, not many of you guys, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this if you're dead. But I know it's happened to many people where the last end stages of their life, if they're unhealthy, are not the most pleasant. And this can prolong for 5 years. I've seen family members for 10 years suffering. I've seen other people's family members for 15, 20 years suffering. And some of you people, some of you guys watching this are young as hell. Some of you are 20, 25-year-old, fat, out of shape, suffering today. And you will be suffering till the day you die. And if you think today's suffering is hard, wait till you hit 40. 45, 50, you're going to pray for an early death. Because it is not nice when you hit a certain age. Just look around. Go to the hospitals. Go to the old people's homes, if you should even call it that. It shouldn't even really be called an old people home, because there's people out there that have lived to 100 years old doing star jumps every single day, jumping jacks single day, talking about Jack LaLanne. Every single day, those guys were healthy. Those guys were active. So for me, the dream of all this, the goal for all this longevity is to I don't care what age it is, whether I hit 40, whether I hit 50, 60, 70, 80. I mean, that's a good innings if I hit 80. But I want to lay down, rest my head, have nothing wrong with me. No aches, no pains, no nothing, no medication, no sitting at my bedside, making sure I take this medication, checking my blood pressure, doing this, doing that. None of that. And then to never ever wake up ever again. That's it. That is the ultimate dream. That means you lived a very healthy, purposeful, fruitful, active life. Now, as always, there's a message in every video. And if you never got the first half of the video as a message, I'm going to continue. And I'm going to explain to you what many people who live the longest do, or cultures that live the longest do. Now, many people have studied this. I'm not going to get into the science of it. I agree with some of the stuff that the guy studied. I also disagree with some of the stuff the guy studied. I can't even remember his name, okay? But I've made my own opinion on it, and I will argue a very good point that I'm right and most people in the longevity game are wrong. Certain things the guy says are good, and people are thinking, who's this guy? Who is he talking about? I'm talking about some guy who went around the world and he called them blue zones if people will have life expectancy were longer, and he figured out what he thought that they were doing that maybe led to them living a little bit longer. Now, I have my own theory. He has his own theory. He might have done a whole PhD on it and a whole study, but look, bro, I'm not stupid. I use logic. I have my eyes. I know what's going on. I also am living, or not living currently, but like I've been living in Pakistan for a long time. And one of the regions in the world with the highest life expectancy is in Pakistan. Okay, the other one is in Sicily. And the main one, if you want to talk about a whole country, not a particular region, because Pakistan life expectancy isn't the highest, but this one particular region is. On the whole, across the board, the number one is Japan. Now, there's a couple of things that these not the certain countries, but the regions where that life expectancy is the highest, which is called the blue zone. There are a couple of things that are recurring. Let me explain. One of them things is that they all live in mountainous terrains on a hill. So they have to do what? Get up and down that hill every single day. Now, as you guys know, if you want to know the hardest cardio exercise to do, it's the Stairmaster. What does a Stairmaster emulate? Hills, stairs, steps. Every single morning, those people are up and down. And in the three places, the Hunza Valleys in Pakistan and some other region, I forgot the name. How can I forget the name? It's in Pakistan, but anyway, I forgot the name. Some place in Sicily, again, I forgot the name, and some place in Japan. Those three are at the top of the list. Now, the other thing that these people have in common is they all eat meat. Yes, they're not veggies. None of them are vegetarian. Another thing they all have in common is they all eat one, maximum 2 meals per day. So they're not stuffing themselves. They're not overindulging. They're not eating too much. They're just eating enough, and that is it. A meal for them consists of doing the graft in the day, the farming, the hunting, whatever it is. They come home, the wives cook, they sit down together as a family, the kids are playing around, and they have the meal. They're active people, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. They are up and about doing something every single day. No days off, none of that. It's a Sunday today, I better take some time off the gym. No, the body doesn't work like that. You need to simulate some kind of hunt every single day. Doesn't matter how hard it is. It could literally just be getting up off your ass and going for a 10-mile hike or something like that. Nice, leisurely pace. Another thing that they all have in common, in fact, I remember the phrase for the Japanese guys, and I've actually wrote it down here. It's the only thing that I wrote down here, and I'll read it out. And I'm going to butcher it. It's hara hashi bu. And the Japanese, or not all Japanese, if you're Japanese watching this and you're thinking, we don't say that. But this particular tribal set of people, or this particular region of people, they say this, hara hashi bu. And what that means is before they eat every single meal, they're saying to themselves, I will only eat 80% of this meal. Imagine that. Imagine sitting down in front of your food. You've got a whole platter of food, a buffet of food in front of you. And before you sit down, every single time you say this word, I'm only going to eat 8% of this. I'm only going to eat 8% of this. Imagine your mind frame, how it will switch. You're not going to let yourself down because you just said it right before you ate that food. Islamically, it's documented that in Islam, you are only supposed to eat till 70% full. Same thing, 70, 80. You see, there's many cultures that have preached this. There's many religions that have preached health as well. Health is very important. I'm not going to get too Islamic here. But if you look at the Islamic praying actions, it's kind of similar. Not similar, so don't come at me, the Islamic police. What kind of actions are you doing when you're praying? Do they not emulate yoga poses, when you're sat down, kneeling, when you bent over. I don't know the yoga names. You get what I'm trying to say? And Muslims do this 5 times a day. 5 times a day. And you can't even group these together and say, let's just do it once a day and just make it a little bit longer. No, 5 times a day. So if you're an old guy, like I'll give you an example of my granddad. He was very old when he died. In his 80s, I think he was touching 90. And he used to pray 5 times a day. Imagine doing those actions up and down, 5 times a day. It's kind of a yoga, isn't it? So I'm not saying, I'm not here to promote anything. I'm just trying to say that even people back in the days knew that you have to be active. You have to not overindulge and look at food and eat it with gluttonous desires. You should look at food as fuel. And if you're with a family environment, you're in a setting, you think, okay, do you know what? I'm going to enjoy the food, but I'm not going to overindulge in food because the food isn't the most important part of the setting, of the meeting. The point of that is to relax at the end of the day, to enjoy it, but to be with your loved ones. To listen to each other, to talk to each other, to tell each other about your day, to think of new things to do, the new goals to hit, find more purpose, find more meaning. That's what mealtime should be. Or to break bread with new friends, old friends, wives, girlfriends, kids, whoever. Shouldn't be a time to sit down and think, I can't wait to eat this food because I saw some fat guy on TikTok saying this is amazing, this is 10-10, this is that. Oh, there's that bakery they show on TikTok. Oh, there's that thing on Instagram that guy goes to all the time. That is not healthy for you. And if you do that and you follow that, I don't care if you do it once or twice a week. It's okay if you're following a healthy plan. But if you live by those rules and not by the ones I've just mentioned and the people, humans leave patterns. Everything we can see who's healthy, who's not. Just look at them. What kind of stuff are they doing? What are they not doing? Everything, you've got to observe everything. So if we copy the people that are living the longest, chances are you're going to live long as well, but healthy as well. That's the main thing. You do not want to be in your deathbed and stay in your deathbed for years on end. When the time comes, I'll be in my deathbed. If it's not by any accident, I will lay down, close my eyes, and I will never wake up again. That is the best death anybody can ever have. It's not going to be nice for the person finding me in the morning, but it is what it is. At least I know I will die never, ever needing somebody to do something for me. That is the worst thing you can do. So the next time you eat something, just tell yourself 70% full, 80% full. Never overindulge. Do not look at food for that. And every time I do this to myself, every single day, I remind myself of dying. You know why I do that? My personal reason is purpose. I got to get up, go out there, do something, find some sort of purpose. That's why I always say, we're all going to die. And if anything's happened in life that is serious or, that just gets you stressed out, same thing again. We're all going to die. If you keep on saying that and keep on thinking that and keep on living by that, then you will live a better, healthy, purposeful life. Hopefully, guys, this video brought you some value. I'm pretty sure it did. Comment down below and like the video. And please subscribe.